Hi guys, it's Miss Acton, and it is reading time. So we're gonna make this lesson nice and short and sweet, but it's got a lot of learning in it. So make sure you pay attention because Miss Acton is gonna go fast. So this is the standard that we are working on now. So we're moving to nonfiction texts or texts that have real life things going on in them. So real life animals, real life situations. It's not fairy tales and dragons and princesses and magic and stuff like that. It's real life stuff. So this is the standard. So let me read this real quick. And just warning you, there's a lot of words in here that it's okay that you don't know. Miss Acton's going to make it sound more second grade for you. So it's RI 2.7 and it says identify information gained from visuals and words in the text and explain how that information contributes to understanding of the text. What in the what? I get it, guys. It's kind of confusing. So we're going to make it more second grade. So here's a kind of a way that you might understand it a little better. So you're going to look at the pictures in these books. Most every single nonfiction text has pictures in it. Sometimes the pictures have labels on them, which makes it a diagram. Sometimes the pictures are an illustration, so a drawing that looks a lot like whatever it is that we're talking about. Sometimes it's a graph, sometimes it's a map. Visuals can be, pictures can be all kinds of things in a text, but it's what's an informational text. And then you're going to take a look about it and see what the picture is teaching you. So you're going to look at the pictures in a book about real life or nonfiction text and tell what that picture is teaching you. So the words are teaching you something, but the pictures, the visuals, the things that are bright and colorful that make the book interesting are also teaching you something too. You have to be able to tell your teachers what it's teaching you. So we're going to do a fun little experiment, and Miss Acton's going to do this at home too, and then I'm going to show you what it is that I drew. So we're going to read an article about an okapi, and I hope that you notice that there is no, I'm just going to exit out of here because I need something. There it is. Aren't you there? So, excuse me. I want to present pointer. I want that drawing tool because Miss Acton's going to do this activity. So right now what I want you to do is I want you to go get a piece of paper and something to write with because you're going to be doing a fun activity real quick. So go get a piece of paper and something to write with and pause the video and then play it back when you get back. All right, so you should have went and got a piece of paper and something to write with. This is going to make this activity a little bit more fun. So I'm going to be doing the same thing, drawing around with you guys, but I'm just going to be doing it on the screen in this big open black space. So I hope that you're noticing that I'm getting ready to read something about an animal called an okapi, but it's very boring because there's no picture of an okapi, and that's not like a lot of the text that you see about animals. There's always a photograph or an illustration of these animals, not this one. There's a reason behind this, okay? So first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to read this article to you, and I want you on your piece of paper with your writing utensil, your pencil, your crayon, your marker, whatever it is that you've got, I want you to try your best to draw this picture of this animal that I'm about to describe to you, which is an okapi. If you know what an okapi is, then you have the upper hand. If you don't, I promise this drawing is going to be a lot of fun, and you'll see Miss Acton's along with it too, okay? So it says the okapi is a weird-looking animal. It looks like the leftover parts of many different animals we know, okay? It has the stripes of a zebra. What? I'm gonna underline that so I remember that. The stripes of a zebra. Its neck is like a giraffe's, but not quite as long. So it's got a zebra parts, it's got giraffe parts, okay. Most of its body looks like a horse. What? So far we have zebra, giraffe, and horse. Oh my gosh, this animal is gonna be crazy. Its horns, what? Its horns look like giraffes' horns. So like those little nubs that giraffes have. I know those are called horns. On top of its head, okay, well good. Most animals' horns are on top of its head. It has a long, blue, sticky tongue in its mouth. What in the world? Okapi are fun to look at, but they are more than just their looks. They have more than just their looks. They are herbivores, which means they only eat plants. Some plants they eat are poisonous to humans. They are also really good mothers too. Oh, that's nice to hear. So all the stuff I underlined describe what this animal looks like. And this is what you're going to use to draw yours too. So don't copy Miss Acton's picture. I want you visualizing what you think this animal is going to look like, and I want you to draw that picture. So the first thing that I heard is that most of its body looks like a horse right here. Most of its body looks like a horse. That's the first thing I'm going to draw. Okay. So horses have really big, strong back legs. And they've got a hoof. And then they got kind of a big belly. And then their front legs are still strong, but they're not as strong. Okay. So I feel like that's a good body. We'll add as we go on. Okay. I don't want to put a tail yet because I can't remember if it said anything about a tail. Okay, so most of his body looks like a horse. It says that its neck is like a giraffe's. Oh, that's not what I wanted to do. Its neck is like a giraffe's, but not quite as long. So, okay, here's where its neck's going to be. So, you need to make a long neck, but not too long because it says it's not as long as a giraffe's, okay? Its horns look like a giraffe's horns on top of its head. So, it sounds like it's got a lot of giraffe body parts. So, I'm going to make its head maybe look a little bit like a giraffe's. And it's probably got ears and give it little horns, okay? All right, so I did the horse part. I'm gonna cross that out. I did the horns, top of its head, a long blue sticky tongue. Can I change it to blue? Oh, I sure can. Let's make it blue. Yeah. A long blue sticky tongue. No firewall, go away. All right. All right, so we got that part. A long blue sticky tongue in its mouth. Oh, and then the stripes of a zebra. Okay, so give. I know the stripes are black and white, but the screen's already black. I mean, I guess we could do white, but I'm already starting with the blue. Oh my gosh, this poor animal. I hope you don't look like this in real life. Oh my gosh. I really hope you don't look like this. Okay, alright, we'll give you pretty blue eyes. Alright, so I did stripes of a zebra. Its neck looks like a giraffe. Most of its body is like a horse. It's got giraffe horns. On top of its head, it's got a blue sticky tongue. Okay, so that's my animal right there. All right, and yours maybe might look a little bit different than that. Oh, I didn't even put a tail. So it said it's horse. It mainly looks like a horse's tail, and horses have really long, beautiful, hairy tails like this. We'll get a long, beautiful, hairy tail. All right, there's our all copy. Very neon. Okay, so hopefully your picture maybe looks a little different than Miss Acton's, but I would think that most of y'all's looks pretty close, especially when it comes to the neck, maybe even the body. But I have never seen an animal that looks like this in my entire life ever, so I don't think that this is right at all. But what I'm going to teach you next is that when you see informational text and they're giving you all of these beautiful, awesome words describing what this animal looks like and what's awesome about it, if it doesn't provide you a photograph, you genuinely will not know what this animal looks like. There's no way that you could tell what this animal looks like. Look at all these lines I need to erase. Oh, it's like a reveal. This is what an okapi looks like. Look at that thing. It's so crazy looking, but I thought it was gonna look goofy. It's actually a really beautiful animal. And from the little bit of research Miss Acton did about them, they're supposedly really good animals to have at the zoo because they're really friendly. And you can see them interact with the zookeepers. And they're really good mothers, so they take really good care of their offspring. And so they're able to keep those babies in the zoo. So I definitely did not get the tail right. Let's choose some yellow. Tail, wrong. Look at this little nub of a tail he's got right here. I was kind of good with the stripes right here, but the stripes all over the body, I kind of got to get rid of those. Looks like they've only got the zebra stripes on their legs. Okay, so that also told me that the words in the text definitely need to be a little more specific about where their stripes are. All right, I think I got my neck pretty good. Even it looks like he's kind of got a broken one with that little kink right there. And then you can't see the tongue in this, and I kind of got the horns pretty good. That looks good. The ears are perfect, I think. The legs look pretty good. The body looks pretty good. So overall, Miss Acton's wasn't too bad. The stripes are definitely where I messed up, and the tail is. So compare your picture with this copy right here. And then actually, I have a page pulled up Oh, I did have a page pulled up. I'll do it again. So I went to Google and I just typed in Okapi so I could see more pictures. There's a bunch of pictures of Okapis with their babies, which backs up our words in our text about how they're good animals or they're good moms. Like there's some with their babies. Like even the babies have the stripes on their legs. Oh, that one you can see the horns really well. Look how dark that one is. So they have a lot of different shades of that dark brown in their fur. Oh, look, I think this one's a baby and he's jumping for joy. Look at that. Oh, the rest in there. And he's really dark too. They're beautiful though. But yeah, they're very unique. Oh, you can see the stripes on their leg really, really nice. This guy's almost black. He's so dark. There's another one with their babies. So yeah, you can definitely tell in these images that they're definitely good moms. Oh, look, and look at the zookeeper in this one. I mean, he is right next. Look how big. Oh my gosh, it is like the size of a horse. That's a grown man right there. And that's the baby. Look how big he is. And look, he's just sitting there feeding them little leaves off of a tree, which shows that they are herbivores. So this would probably be a good image too to show that they're herbivores, they eat plants, they're good moms, and also shows the different types of body parts, the long neck of the giraffe. The only thing this doesn't have is the horns, but this would be a good image, a good visual, good picture that we could use in this text that we were reading about with the Okapis. So I just want to show you some more images of them because they really are very beautiful, unique, and crazy looking animals. But they're really cool. I like them. So basically, all I was teaching you there is that it's awesome if you have a text with all these beautiful, juicy words that are teaching you all these awesome things. But if you don't have an image to go along with it, then your text is pretty boring and your readers won't be able to get everything that they need from just the words. Because I can sit here and read this text 30, 40, 50 times. If I don't know what an okapi is and you don't give me an image or a picture like this, I'm going to be drawing some crazy animal like I just did with a big bushy horsetail. Whenever really I should be looking at an animal like this. So I'm going to give you guys a chance to practice it with a Jamboard. So the first image we're going to look at is we're going to look at some words. So this text is called Special Helpers, and the image is right below this, but I'm not going to show you what it is because I want you to take a guess on the person that created this text, what image they used to help you understand the words in here better. So this image or this passage is called Special Helpers. Dogs are great at being guide dogs to humans. They train very hard to become guide dogs. Guide dogs are special helpers to special people. Oh, so we got an article about dogs, but more specifically, guide dogs. So guide dogs are dogs that help people in a special way. Guide dogs help all kinds of people. Some people they might help are in wheelchairs, people who cannot hear, or people who cannot see. So deaf people, blind people, or people that are handicapped. Guide dogs help people who cannot hear by poking them with their nose when the doorbell or phone rings. Oh, cool. Guide dogs help people who cannot see by walking them safely along the sidewalks and not in the middle of the road because we don't want them to get hit by a car. Guide dogs help people in wheelchairs by reaching for things in high and low places. If the TV remote falls on the floor, they can pick them up and put it back into the person's lap. Oh my gosh, so this just gave us all kinds of good examples of why guide dogs can help. So I'm going to take a wild guess in my brain, and I want you to do that too, of what image you think is below this card right here. So what would make sense to help this text and help us understand it more? What do you think this image underneath here is? Right. You better have guessed that it has to do with a guide dog. Right. Oh, it's a little boy. Here, Miss Hector, let's see if I can make this a little bit bigger so you can see it a little better. Oh, yeah. So this is a black lab, which are very, 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 very nice and well-behaved dogs. And this is a boy that's not in a wheelchair, but he has to use a walker to walk. And it looks like he's got a brace on this leg right here. And he's got a guide dog that is helping him probably just do special things. So I would say having to use this to walk around, he probably can't bend over very well. It's probably hard for him to walk around on like grass and stuff like that. And the guide dog is attached to him. So this image, this picture is just giving us a better idea of how dogs can help people, specifically guide dogs help people that need them. And it's also an example that really wasn't given to us in here because we don't know what's going on with this young man. We don't know if he's blind, they kind of mention that. If he's deaf, they kind of mention that. And if he's in a wheelchair, they kind of mention that. But I don't see any of that case. He's looking at the camera, so I think you could probably see. We don't know if he's deaf or not, but he's definitely not in a wheelchair. He looks like he can walk around with the assistance of a walker. So this is giving us another example of what a guide dog can do, and not just for older people that do start to lose their vision and start to not be able to hear or maybe end up in a wheelchair, but for young kiddos that are your all's age that maybe have some things going on in their life where they need a dog to help them, which is so cool. So hopefully this helped you understand why we need images to help make our stories more exciting, to make the text make more sense to us, and to give us other things to think about, help us understand a little bit more. So I love this picture. Makes my heart happy, mainly because Miss Acton loves puppy dogs. All right, so here's another one. So I did the opposite. You're seeing the image and the title. You need to tell me what you think the words are saying and how this image might help it. So take a look at this picture. It looks like it's a house, or once was a house, and there's just trash and pieces of wood, and it looks like the roof is ripped off. So this house looks like it's been through something. And this right here says spinning storm. So what do you think this text underneath here? What do you think the words are about? Let's see. I'm just going to delete you. So this text is talking about what is happening in this picture. On a spring night in 2007, so it was like 13 years ago, but still um, pretty new, happened before any of you guys were born. Disaster struck a small town in Kansas, which is a state. Shortly before 10 p.m., a siren went off. A mile-wide tornado was approaching Greensburg. Its winds were estimated to be more than 200 miles per hour. In less than 10 minutes, the town was destroyed. 10 people lost their lives. Oh my goodness. This is talking about a tornado, which is a spinning storm that has these really high winds, and they are so strong, these winds are, that it can rip the roof of a house, rip all the leaves and limbs off of trees, and just leave trash all over the place. And they can be so dangerous that they can kill people. And this says that 10 people lost their lives in this storm. 200 miles per hour, that's faster than the cars go that are on like the highway, guys. So that's craziness. But again, I could have showed you this picture and you could have been like, maybe a fire could do that. Maybe the family just didn't want the house anymore and started tearing it apart. Maybe some animals, like maybe birds, just started like pecking away at the house and just eventually destroyed it. There's a bug called a termite that eats wood. Maybe it did it. We don't know. But whenever I said the spinning storm and started reading this text, you realize, oh, it was a storm that has really powerful winds called a tornado, and it basically destroyed this house, and a lot more, destroyed an entire town. And it was so crazy and so strong and so dangerous that 10 people died during this. So what we learned today is that when you read informational texts, it's awesome that you can read the words and learn from them, but you also have to pay attention to the images too, because they're also teaching you something. And it's not really the best thing to read a text that only has one or the other. When you're looking for informational texts to do research, to learn more things about things that are going on in your life, things around you, about animals, you want to try to find a text that has words and has visuals, photographs, maps, things like that, because they're going to teach you a lot more than if it was just a picture alone or if it was just words alone, okay? So with your classwork today, you're going to be looking at some stories that have images in them, and you're going to be telling me how they're making the words make more sense, and you're even getting the chance to describe a picture that you might use instead of the one that Miss Acton puts in there to make more sense, okay? So have fun with your classwork. If you need any help, please contact your teachers. Have a great day. Miss Acton loves you, and stay safe, guys. Bye.